Welcome to the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show. Nobody brings you more comprehensive coverage of high school sports in Middle Tennessee than Main Street Preps. Today's show is brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Now, please welcome the host of the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show.
I'm Russell Vannozzi, back for another episode of the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show. Thanks for joining us today. Got a great show lined up. We're going to talk in just a moment to Oakland football coach Kevin Creasy. His squad is 6-1 ahead of a matchup with Coffee County this week. We'll also dive into some Week 9 storylines and also make picks for some of Week 9's top games. Of course, we are proud to be brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk. A lot to get to today, so let's dive right in now. We're going to bring in Kevin Creasy, who's going to join us on screen.
Hey.
Kevin, thanks for being here. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thanks.
So, Kevin, you guys are coming off the open week, and I know that's a great time to heal up, kind of have a mental reset for everybody there too. What did that open week do for your team, and how's everything looking so far in practice this week, coming off some restful days there?
Yeah, it came at the perfect time. We needed some rest. It was a good break for not just the players, but the coaches as well. So it's been a long regular season and, a week 7 fall break. We pretty much gave everybody off for 5 days and came back in the last 3 days and had some practices. But yeah, it was perfect timing. Got some good rest for the players and the coaches, and getting some guys that have some bumps and bruises, getting those guys healed up.
So entering that off week, everything's been going pretty well so far. You guys have won 5 games straight since that loss at Center Grove, Indiana, which I know is having a great season there. But I guess over that 5-game stretch, Kevin, what are some characteristics of this year's team that have emerged that you feel like are leading to success? I guess what are some of those defining aspects of this group that you've got?
Yeah, the Center Grove loss is probably one of the best things happened to us. It definitely got us humbled and got us hungry again, and definitely put us on the right path. And the biggest thing about our team is, there's not a lot of superstars, but we do feel like we're getting a little bit better every week. We feel like our defense is really getting better and putting us in great positions. Offense is coming along, and special teams have always been solid here at Oakland. Got a really, really good kicker again. Jacob Taylor was up for Mr. Football last year. Expect him to be up for it again this year, having a great year. So, yeah, defense, offense is catching up to our special teams. And, like I said, hopefully we're heading in the right direction around playoff time.
So your son, Kyler Creasy, began the season as the starting quarterback, and I'll ask you about that in just a moment. But I know in that second game of the season, Kyler went down with a broken collarbone, sat out for about a month, came back 2 weeks ago against Siegel and was able to play some. How in the world was he able to recover that quickly and get back to it?
Yeah, I think it had been 5 weeks, and now it's been 7 weeks. I actually went to the doctor today and got an X-ray, and he's got a little bump on where the crack was. Been taking a lot of calcium, and you can tell that it's healed up, but it's still a little bit of a bump there, and it doesn't have any pain, so he should be good to go this Friday. Like I said, it was good to kind of get him in the mix against Siegel before fall break, and just get some reps, knock a little rust off, and get him heading in the right direction.
Yeah, certainly glad to hear that he's healthy again. And on that note, Kevin, what's it been like coaching your son, especially now that he's playing? And I know you're trying to field the best lineup you possibly can, and you want to win, but you're also a dad. So how do you sort of balance that this year with Kyler?
Yeah, I treat him like everybody else. Hopefully, some say I treat him a little bit rougher than everybody else. But I expect a lot more out of him too. And, after the injury, you got to really realize what a privilege it is, to coach your kid. And it can be taken away at any time. Injuries are one of the worst things about this game that we all love. But at the same time, it made you realize that you better appreciate the opportunities that you have because they can be taken away pretty quickly.
So you guys have several playmakers too that to work with whoever's playing quarterback. Dwayne Morris, of course, leads that group after coming over from Red Bank in the offseason. He's nearly got 1,000 all-purpose yards, 14 total touchdowns through 7 games. What is it about Dwayne that is so difficult for defenses to try to contain him?
Yeah, he's just kind of the total package. He's a guy that can run well, he can block well, he can catch the ball well. He's a returner for us in the kick game. So he's got a lot of different tools that are at his disposal, and he can work a lot of plays, a lot of plays that would be just negative yardage plays for us. He can turn into something positive. So he's just that kind of player, really dynamic player, and it's easy to see how athletic he is when he has the ball in his hand.
You've also got senior running back Ashton Jones, who came over from DCA. He's having a nice season as well. About 800 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns so far. Since Ashton came over, I mean, how has he sort of fit in with what you guys do there at Oakland?
Yeah, we're a run-first team, and so having a 1-2 punch like DeJuan and Ashton, I think has been real beneficial for us. We're getting Avery Hainsworth back healthy. So, having 3 different guys that can tote the load, I think that's huge. And Ashton brings a good skill set of not just being a guy that can hit it between the tackles, but he can bounce it outside and do a lot of damage as well. Unselfish guy, willing to block, that sort of thing. So, yeah, they make for a good 1-2 punch and, give a lot of defenses trouble and give them a lot to work on.
And speaking of defense, your defense is playing well too. And I know there's some veteran names in there like Corey Smith and Steven Ellison having nice years. That group's allowing just under 9 points a game. Who are some of the new guys though, maybe that have stepped up this year? Maybe some names that aren't quite as heralded that you've been impressed by so far.
Yeah, we've got a sophomore that starts for us, which is like unheard of at Oakland. But Cam Sanders is a big nose guard, just over 300 pounds. That kind of wreaks some havoc there in the middle. And you want to talk about linebackers? We've got 3 guys that can really run fast. Corey's been starting for us for a couple of years, but we've got. That was the bell, by the way. Time to change. But we've got a little brother of our starting safety who's having a heck of a year. Both of them have played really well, and hopefully we can get back to getting all of them healthy. Right now, we do have some bumps and bruises on defense, but Caleb Ellison is the younger brother of Steve Ellison. And Caleb's having a tremendous year, unbelievable player for us. And so, you talk about 1-2 punches. I think if you talk about Caleb and his older brother, they're kind of the 1-2 punch on defense.
And Corey Smith just committed to Toledo, right?
Yeah, he committed this week to Toledo, and, will be a great get for those guys. I mean, he's a tremendous player and a heck of an athlete and a great teammate.
Yeah, I remember him even a couple of years ago already wreaking havoc in the backfield. So that's been neat to kind of see his progression there. Yeah. Kevin, of course, you guys are coming off the 3 straight Class 6A state titles, and I believe only 4 teams in the state of Tennessee have ever done a four-peat. I may need to check the record books on that. High school record keeping is a little hit and miss, as I'm sure you know. But how do you guys sort of handle the expectations you have for yourselves? Is that something you talk about at all, or is it just something that everyone's so aware of it doesn't even need to be spoken about during the season?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever mentioned it this year until this week coming back from fall break and, just talk to them about, the expectations, don't want to be the team to let all the other teams before us down. And they kind of understand the pressure that's on them, and just really hadn't mentioned it because it's so far away from, week 15 at the beginning of the season. But now we're kind of at the halfway point, week 7, week 8. Hopefully we've got 7 or 8 more weeks of football left. But, if you don't show up and play like you're supposed to, it could be gone by week 11. So we need to make sure that our guys are aware of that.
That's right. And 3 regular season games still to come before the playoffs get rolling. It's Coffee County this week, Ravenwood and Riverdale to round it out. Maybe just real quickly on those teams, what do you sort of make of those matchups and some of the challenges you guys might face in those games?
Yeah, Coffee County took Blackman to the wire in the playoffs last year, so that's definitely got all of our attention. Their quarterback got injured early in the season. Seems to be a lot of that going around this year. But, one of the best defenses we'll be seeing, great D-line, really good outside backers. So, yeah, it's going to be, one of those challenges that we have to understand that it's a region game, so it makes it that much more important. Ravenwood is more for bragging rights than anything. And then turn back around, you have Battle of the Borough. So it's one of the most talented Riverdale teams we've ever faced in my 8 years being here. They've got kids committed to all these Division I schools, and they got some good players that still don't have, some offers yet that we think probably deserve some. So very talented Riverdale team coming in. And, maybe if we take care of business this week and they take care of business this week, it'll be for all the marbles week 10.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That probably have a playoff-like atmosphere there a week before the postseason even starts. So that would be neat. Kevin, appreciate all your time. I've got one more for you on the way out here, and then we'll let you get back to it. But I've interviewed a lot of coaches on this show, some veterans like yourself, some guys that are just sort of in their first or second year. I know there's a lot of assistant coaches out there as well trying to become head coaches. But I guess when you speak to guys that are sort of new on the block, what's a piece of advice you get that you give them? Maybe something you learned along the way either at Trousdale County or Oakland that's helped you be successful. Is there something that comes to mind there?
Somebody gave me this advice a long time ago. If you want to be a head coach bad enough, you better be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. There's oftentimes a lot of jobs that are open, and there's sometimes that they're willing to hire some guys that maybe aren't ready yet, but a lot of those jobs are open for a reason. So be careful in your selection. Make sure you pick a good job. That's 2 things I've been real lucky with. Oakland, a traditional powerhouse, and Trousdale even more so, being a tradition-rich school with a lot of winning. Be selective, be patient, trying to find, a good job. And the biggest thing is, try to enjoy where you're at, coach wherever your feet, land, and make sure you make the best of that. And hopefully better opportunities come along, and, surround yourself with good people. That's usually the most important thing. You're only as good as your assistant coaches, and you better surround yourself around good people.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, Kevin, thanks again for being here. We appreciate it. Congrats on a great start to the season, and good luck the rest of the way.
Great. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's been Oakland football coach Kevin Creasy. Really enjoyed the conversation there with Kevin. His team's obviously had so much success over the last few years, and they are looking to keep that rolling as we head closer to the playoffs. We're going to take a break now and then come back with some Week 9 storylines, so stick around for that.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
As an Allstate agent in Gallatin, Larry Maynard knows many local families. His knowledge and understanding of the people in this community helps him provide customers with outstanding service. Give Larry a call at 615-452-1500. Macon Bank and Trust Company is a proud supporter of the Gallatin Green Wave. For over 100 years, Macon Bank and Trust has offered a true hometown banking experience to help you meet your financial goals. We are local people with local decision-making and ready to serve you.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. With our world-class physicians, Houston Clinic Orthopedics will have you back enjoying your life in no time. From ortho care to physical therapy and more. Visit our website to book an appointment. Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
Craving the juiciest, most delicious burgers in Dixon? Look no further. Luke's Burgers and Breakfast has got you covered. Whether you're in the mood for a mouth-watering cheeseburger or a breakfast burrito, we have it all. Our secret? Only the freshest ingredients, cooked to perfection every time. So why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? Come on down to Luke's Burgers and Breakfast, where every bite is an experience.
So there aren't a ton of games going on in Week 9. That means a lot of the playoff implications are pushed back to Week 10 and 11. Of course, we were just talking with Kevin right there. Potential region championship may be on the line with Riverdale and Oakland, depending on how things shake out. And they certainly won't be the only one in that final week. But there are still some things to watch for this week. Of course, you've got Davidson, Williamson, Montgomery, and Robertson counties are among the school systems that have fall breaks. So most of their teams are not playing. Many of the Nashville area private schools are off as well. But keep an eye on Creekwood at Station Camp. This game may not jump off the page for a lot of folks because both teams are 2-5. But this game is going to go a long way into determining a playoff spot in that ever-competitive Region 5 4A that also has Marshall County and Pearl Combe. Of course, those two teams pretty much have the top 2 spots locked up, and they will decide that region title most likely in Week 11 as well. But Creekwood, Station Camp, both teams with a lot to play for this week, certainly could get a leg up in that playoff race as the number 3 and number 4 seeds in that region are up for grabs. So whoever wins that game is going to have a good chance to make the postseason. The loser is going to have definitely a bit of a tougher road there. And looking back at last week real briefly here, NBA knocking off Lipscomb Academy, a huge win there for the Big Red. And now looking forward, NBA is, of course, off this week on an open date. But you have to wonder how much damage NBA might be capable of moving forward. They still travel to Baylor next week, and then they will play Brentwood Academy in the final week. Of course, Brentwood Academy struggled quite a bit there at 1-7. So NBA at 3-5 seemed like this was going to be a rebuilding year for them, and in a lot of ways it certainly has been. They lost their first 4 games and had a tough start there, but they're playing well now, heading towards the playoffs, and I'm interested to see if maybe they're playing their best in the postseason. They might just catch somebody napping and get a little further than maybe we're expecting in this first year without Marcel Reed. So I'm keeping my eyes on NBA, no doubt. And we mentioned Brentwood Academy a minute ago. Of course, they are struggling as a team. George McIntyre having a great season, and he is, of course, a top-ranked quarterback prospect for the class of 2025. 24/7 Sports has him listed as the number 2 quarterback in the entire nation for that class, also the number 13 prospect nationally. And he has sort of narrowed his recruitment a little bit. He announced the 10 schools he's going to focus on moving forward. That list includes some heavyweights like Auburn and Alabama. Also includes FIU, where his uncle, Mike McIntyre, is the head coach. The rest of the list includes Florida State, Georgia, LSU, Michigan, Oregon, Tennessee, and UCLA. So plenty of blue bloods there for George McIntyre. We'll be interested to see him as he sort of narrows down that list further in the future. But certainly no rush for him to make a commitment. But it does seem that he's got his pick of the litter. So would not be surprised to see George McIntyre playing some big-time college football in a couple of years. And I mentioned it this year. He's been a bright spot for the Eagles. He's completing 67% of his passes for 2,200 yards and 16 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. They travel to Lipscomb Academy after their open week. So we'll be interested to see if maybe the Eagles can get on track there. We've been saying that for weeks. But next week against Lipscomb Academy would certainly be a good time to right the ship there. That is all we've got for Week 9 storylines. We'll take a quick break and come right back with score predictions for Week 9.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
Welcome to the GR Group at Cry Like Realtors. Our team is comprised of seasoned veterans, military spouses, and other real estate professionals with strong ties to the military community. We specialize in helping our clients buy and sell homes, as well as providing comprehensive services for commercial and land properties. Whether you're relocating to the area, interested in buying or selling a home, or looking for commercial or land properties, the GR Group has the expertise and resources to help you achieve your real estate goals. Contact the GR Group today.
Founded in 2005, Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, has a reputation of consistently offering the lowest possible rates and, above all, providing outstanding customer service. Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, takes pride in treating our clients with honesty and integrity. We provide excellent service and experience you can trust for all your mortgage needs, proudly serving all of Tennessee. Apply today. Call Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, 858-518-1506, or online at www.firstlendingonline.com.
NMLS number 314276, ID 135932.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
I'm happy to report as we enter week 9, I've still got a slim lead in the Main Street Prep staff-wide football predictions contest. I believe I've got a 1-game lead over Brady McAtamney, so we'll see if we can keep that going. Last week, a couple slip-ups, went 7-3. So my overall record is now 58-22. Certainly could be better, and let's see if we can get back on track this week. Of course, not a lot of games, but we were still able to fish out 10 for the staff-wide pick'em, and you can check that out at mainstreetpreps.com. We've got it uploaded every Wednesday, so you can get a wide cross-section of what all of our sports editors and reporters think about this week's games. But I've picked out 5 here that I'd like to talk about to close the show, starting with our Main Street Preps game of the week in the pick'em, Lebanon at Mount Juliet. This is a great Wilson County rivalry game, and Lebanon's 5-2 after a little bit of a slow start to the season. They've looked much improved. We've got a great playmaker in Key Crowell that's it's just difficult to contain in all aspects of the game on offense, defense, and special teams. Mount Juliet having a great season, a quiet 7-0 for Mount Juliet. They are still in our somewhere hovering around number 10 in our Main Street Preps top 25 rankings. Might be a spot or two above that now. I'd have to double check, but having a great year there. And Tyler Travers at quarterback's been a big reason why. I saw him in the preseason against Innsworth. I think we talked about that many weeks ago on this show, but what he was able to do against Innsworth, that was just somebody you looked at and said, hey, he could be on pace for a good season. And that certainly panned out. On defense, they've got defensive end Atticus Fiorita. Hopefully I'm saying that right. He is a monster in the backfield. Had all kinds of sacks and tackle for loss a couple weeks ago when they last played. And he's got to be a nightmare for offensive line coaches to try to plan for. So with that said, I like Mount Juliet to come out on top here, 31-27. I'm giving Lebanon some points there because blowouts are just hard to predict when you're talking about a rivalry game like this, and especially as Lebanon's come on strong lately. But I still think Mount Juliet's got enough firepower there to stay undefeated and move to 8-0 this week. Let's go next to Siegel at Beach. Beach is 3-4, and it's not a 3-4 that maybe is created equally with a lot of 3-4 records out there because the losses have been all to good teams: Collierville, Riverdale, Independence, and Henry County. Henry County, of course, was last week's overtime loss, 46-45. That was a real heartbreaker for the Buccaneers. And I feel like this week at home, again, against Siegel is going to be a get-right game for them. Siegel is likely going to be without starting quarterback Thomas Santel for the rest of the year due to an injury. That's a huge loss for them. He was their, I believe, their leading rusher in addition to being a strong passer there for them. So that's a tough loss for Siegel. We'll see how they bounce back, but I've got Beach taking this one pretty handily, 35-10. Speaking of get-right games, Nashville Christian at Fayetteville. Nashville Christian, we had Coach Jeff Brothers on last week. They were not able to pull it out against Columbia Academy. Had some chances late, but Jared Curtis threw an interception. Columbia Academy was able to close that one out and likely take the top spot now in that region. But still plenty of things out there for Nashville Christian to play for. They can get another win this week and kind of build some more momentum going in their final couple weeks against Fayetteville. And I think they're going to be able to do that just with Jared Curtis, Bryson Holt, some of the other guys they've got. I think that's going to be enough to go on the road and take this one, maybe take out some frustration as well. So I've got Nashville Christian winning 42-28 over Fayetteville. We talked about a rivalry game a minute ago with Lebanon and Mount Juliet, but may not get bigger than Blackman at Riverdale, the Backyard Brawl, which is an awesome name for this rivalry. Warriors are having a great season over at Riverdale, and I've got to pick them 35-21, but Blackman has hung tough with some teams. Kevin, I think, mentioned that in our interview that, their record may not show it. They're still in their first year with their new head coach, but they're going to probably compete well here, and that's why I'm not picking this game as a blowout, but I do have Riverdale quarterback Braden Graham, who's putting up video game numbers, probably a Mr. Football candidate there in Class 6A. Brock Montgomery having a great season, wide receiver. I've got those guys having a good night here, and a 35-21 win over Blackman. And the last one we'll talk about today is Pope Prep at Rockvale. If Elijah Robb can have a big game, I think the Knights certainly have a chance. They have leaned on him heavily throughout the season, and they've started to have some better results here lately. I believe they've won 3 of their last 4 games, including an overtime win at BGA a couple weeks ago. So that was great for the Knights, who are playing a lot of sophomores, even some freshmen, a lot of young players there. Certainly a team to watch for in the years to come, but they've started to grow up right before our eyes this season, and the results have shown that. But the Rockets have some experience on their side. They've got senior quarterback Brennan Mayhew, and I think that's going to be enough to make the difference here. So I'm going Rockvale 28, Pope Prep 20. I do think that'll be a good game. Like I mentioned, you can find all of our picks, including all 10 of my picks, online at mainstreetpreps.com by Wednesday afternoon. And be sure to stay tuned to mainstreetpreps.com throughout the coming weeks. We're going to have, we've already got golf coverage on there. Those state championships are ongoing right now. Volleyball championships are next week. Soccer championships are the week after that. And then the football playoffs and the cross-country state championships are the week after that. So a great time to get on board. You can get a subscription for just $3.99 a month or $34.99 for an entire year. And I think that's certainly worth the cost of admission there. So sure to follow us on Twitter at Main Street Preps, like us on Facebook by searching out Main Street Preps, and we'll see you next time here on the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show.
You've been watching the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show. Nobody brings you more comprehensive coverage of high school sports in Middle Tennessee than Main Street Preps. Join us each week at this time on Main Street Media TV to get the latest news about high school football. The Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show is brought to you by the Tennessee Highway